Hello and welcome to the InteliMap PRO Quick Start Guide. This guide is meant to teach you how to get started using InteliMap PRO as quickly as possible. InteliMap PRO is a major upgrade from the original InteliMap. It was rebuilt from the ground up for increased efficiency and stability, and it comes with vastly improved build times as well as a plethora of new settings and customizability. To get started using InteliMap PRO, first you need to open up your Unity project. Here I have opened the default 2D project. Firstly, if you have not yet purchased InteliMap PRO, you will need to in order to follow along with this guide. You can find it on the Unity Asset Store or by clicking the link in the description. Now that you own InteliMap PRO, you must first import it into your project. To do that, follow the instructions on the Asset Store. One thing to note when importing is that this example folder is optional. It includes the 8 example scenes as well as their tile sets, tile maps, and tile palettes. In this guide, I will not be including this folder, but it can be very useful for familiarizing yourself with InteliMap. InteliMap works using Unity's built-in tile maps. This is so it can easily integrate with any existing tile maps you may already have. So to get started, we first need to create a tile map. This is done exactly the same as in vanilla Unity. If you already have a tile map set up, feel free to skip ahead in the video. The first step in creating a tile map is to import the image to be used as the tile set for the map. To do this, I will first create a folder called tilemaps for organizational purposes. Then I will drag my image from my file system onto the folder. Make sure that the texture type of this tile set is set to sprite, the sprite mode to multiple, and the pixels per unit to whatever the size of each tile is in pixels. In this case, this is a 32 by 32 pixel tile set, thus I will set the pixels per unit to 32. I will also set the filter mode to point and the format to RGBA 32-bit. This is just to improve the visual quality of the image. Now hit apply. Now you'll need to open up the sprite editor so we can split this tile set into its individual tiles. Once the sprite editor is open, you can click slice on the top bar, set the type to grid by cell size. Since this is a 32 by 32 tile set, I will set the pixel size to 32 by 32. Then hit slice and apply. If there are any tiles you don't want included, you can simply click them, then press delete. Once you are all done, you can exit the sprite editor. Now that the tile set has been imported and set up, we now need to create our tile palette that we can use to draw our tile map with. To do this, click on Window, 2D, Tile Palette. Now in the Tile Palette menu, we will need to create a new tile palette. To do this, click on Create New Palette. Name the palette whatever you would like. In this case, I will name this one Quick Start Palette. Then hit Create. This will prompt you to pick a location to save the palette. I will save it in the same Tile Maps folder. This will have created a new tile palette object. Now to populate this tile palette, you can simply drag your tile set onto the tile palette. This will prompt you to pick a location to save the tile objects. In this case, I will save it in the same Tile Maps folder. And as you can see, it has populated the tile palette and created all the different tile objects. Now that the tile palette is finished, you'll want to create tile maps to draw on. In this case, this is a multi-layered tile map, so I will create one tile map for each layer. To do this, right-click on the hierarchy and add 2D Object, Tile Map, Rectangular. I will do this for each layer I want to have, which in this case is 2. I will also name each tile map according to their layer. So I'll name these Shadows and Main. Now you'll want to use your tile palette to draw on your tile maps. Enjoy the short time lapse as I do exactly that. Note that you can also set which layers appear on top by setting their order in layer on the tile map renderer component. Higher numbers appear on top, while lower numbers appear on the bottom. Now that the example tile map has been created, we can start to use InteliMap in order to analyze it and generate similar maps. To start, open any object in your scene and add the InteliMap Builder component. The builder can be used to analyze tile maps and create generators. It uses a list of build maps, which are areas of tile maps that it will use to learn from in order to create generators. When you have selected an object with a builder component, you will see a hammer tool in the scene view. If you select it and drag over any tile map, it will add that area to the builder's list of tile maps. As you can see, I have done just that, and now the builder has 2 build maps. After you add your build maps, you may want to adjust some settings. You can learn more about what each setting does in the advanced guide. After you are done adjusting settings, you can hit the Build Generator button. Here you will notice one of the main differences between the original InteliMap and InteliMap PRO. InteliMap PRO now stores all the generator information inside a generator data scriptable object instead of the generator component. This is to make it much more streamlined to use the generators across scenes. When you click Build Generator, it will prompt you to select the location to put the generator data scriptable object. I will again select the Tile Maps folder. After a very short time, thanks to InteliMap PRO's much faster build times, the builder will finish and the generator data object will now be correctly set up. You can click Create Generator Component on the builder, which will create an InteliMap Generator Component. This generator component is what can actually generate tile maps. Just like with the builder, it also has an editor tool. Whenever you have selected an object with a generator component, you will see a map tool in the scene view. If you select it and drag over any area, it will generate within that area. It has buttons for retrying generation, clearing the area, reverting to what was there before generation, and for setting the generation bounds of the generator. The generation bounds is where the generator is set to generate if the corresponding inspector buttons are clicked, or on scene start if the generate on start option is set to true. The generator can also be called to generate at runtime using a simple scripting API that will be explained more thoroughly in the advanced guide. That has been all for this quick start guide. If you would like to learn more, please watch the advanced guide. And if you have not yet purchased InteliMap, you can find it on the Unity Asset Store or by clicking the link in the description. Thank you for watching.